So when it comes to doing your taxes as a rideshare driver, you have an initial decision to make, okay? Whether or not you're gonna use actual expenses to calculate your expenses, or you're gonna use the standard mileage deduction to calculate your expenses for your tax deduction, for your tax write-off, okay? What I highly recommend you do is you use the QuickBooks Self-Employed app. This is gonna make your life way easier for a bunch of different reasons. I'm gonna start with my recommendation, okay? And my recommendation is to use the standard mileage deduction. That's gonna be right for most people. If you use the actual expenses deduction for a vehicle, you can never again use the standard mileage deduction for that vehicle, okay? But if you use the standard mileage deduction, you can continue to use the standard mileage deduction again and again and again and again, okay? And at any time, you can switch to actual expenses, but you probably don't want to, okay? And the reason this is important is because, especially if you purchased a brand new vehicle, your actual expenses, including the depreciation expense from that first year, because your vehicle is going to depreciate ridiculously. You're going to have a ton of vehicle depreciation in your very first year of driving if you buy a brand new vehicle, okay? Actual expenses might be more profitable that first year, but it's almost certainly going to be way less of a benefit for you every year after that, okay? So I highly recommend, for a couple of reasons, you just use the standard mileage deduction, okay? What that'll look like is, using the QuickBooks Self-Employed app, it'll track all your miles you drive. You swipe personal for your personal rides. You swipe business for your business rides. And then for your 2018 taxes, it's 54.5 cents for every mile you drive is a business write-off, okay? So if you drive 35,000 miles for rideshare driving, all of a sudden your business expense for 2018 is $20,300. Okay, that's pretty significant right there. So the standard mileage deduction is way easier, and it's almost certainly gonna be higher than your actual expenses for your vehicle every single year, other than the exception of, if you have 1 year where you just have a ton of car problems and you have a ton of maintenance required on your vehicle, and with the possible exception also of the very first year that you own and purchase a brand new vehicle, and you have all your registration and fees and also vehicle depreciation built into that number for your very first year of rideshare driving, okay? So it might be tempted to use actual expenses in those years, but it's almost certainly gonna be the case that the next year and the year after that and the year after that, the standard mileage deduction is gonna make the most sense. So just remember, if you use actual expenses, you can never go back to using the standard mileage deduction. The standard mileage deduction is just way easier to use. That's why I recommend you just use the standard mileage deduction and use the QuickBooks Self-Employed app. It'll keep track of all your vehicle expenses for you, and it's super easy to use. If you like that video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to see the rest of my free content on my YouTube channel. But I also wanted to let you guys know that I also have a Lyft Driver course, okay? A course that breaks down the top strategies that I have learned as a Lyft driver that's given over 5,000 rides on the Lyft platform. The top strategies that I now utilize to increase my income as much as possible on the Lyft app, okay? And then also ways of decreasing my expenses as much as possible to ultimately be the most profitable driver that you can be. Okay, so if you're interested in content like that, I highly recommend you check out my course, and I have a link to that course in the description box of this YouTube video, okay? It is premium content, it is a paid course, but I also have a bunch of free videos on that course page as well, so you get an idea of what you will be learning in the course. But I highly recommend you check that out if you're a Lyft driver that wants to make as much money as possible. All right, with that being said, happy driving, guys. Have a good one.